Hey everyone, today I want to do a quick video comparing gaming on Google Stadia, GeForce Now, and a local desktop PC. I've decided to pick Destiny 2 as the game to test since it's available on all three platforms and I didn't have to buy it. So right now you're seeing a recording for all three. I've concealed which one is which to prevent any of the initial bias that people might have, so feel free to pause the video here to examine them more closely if you want. You can see now that Google Stadia is on the top left, while the desktop PC is on the top right, and GeForce Now is on the bottom left. I've included the network stats in the top right of the two streaming services for reference. As you can see, both are using roughly the same bandwidth. Both Google Stadia and GeForce Now are set to the balanced network mode, which has a max resolution of 1080p. Here are the default video settings for the desktop PC so you can compare them with the other services. Next are the default video settings for GeForce Now. I was unable to change any of them because after hitting apply, they would revert back to the defaults each time. Last we have Google Stadia's quote-unquote video settings. Nothing to really change here, so I can't compare them with the other two. Now we have actual gameplay of all three services side by side. I recorded the tutorial mission on all three, but since there's no way to script it, they aren't a perfect match. Hopefully there's enough content for you to compare all three in quality and performance. Like before, I left them all unlabeled in the beginning so you can compare them without any bias. And now the reveal. GeForce Now is in the first panel on the left, with Google Stadia in the middle, and the desktop PC is in the last panel on the right. Having played the Destiny 2 tutorial mission multiple times on all three, I have to say I did not notice any difference at all in terms of quality or performance. The only difference I did notice was the controls on the Google Stadia felt a little sluggish and less precise compared to the other two. I'm sure I could have made some adjustments to my mouse sensitivity to resolve that, but I wanted to leave the settings as close to default as possible just for the testing. I assume the sluggish controls were a result of the high input latency that others described in their Google Stadia reviews, so I decided to go ahead and test the input latency on my own. The results were a bit surprising actually. On PC, the input latency was roughly 41.7 milliseconds. On Google Stadia, the input latency was over double that at 83.3 milliseconds. But then on GeForce Now, I recorded 100 milliseconds even, so the idea that input latency was to blame for the sluggish controls goes out the window. To be fair to GeForce Now, it does have a competitive setting in their network options, which is a low latency mode, so the input lag is probably lower if you don't mind dropping quality. So which one should you get, if any at all? For me, I'm still on the fence right now. The next time I have to travel and I'm stuck in a hotel room for a few days, I'll probably have my answer. At home, I'm sticking with playing on PC for whenever possible. The game selection in Google Stadia is the biggest downside for me, but the gaming experience, along with the ability to play in my living room or on any browser at any time, are a huge plus in my book. This month, Metro Exodus, which is a game I've been waiting to buy for a while, became available on Google Stadia for free, and I spent a good 2 to 3 hours playing it the other night and completely forgot I wasn't playing it locally. GeForce Now has been great for the 2+ years I've been using it. During the beta, I used it multiple times at home and on the road with extremely low-powered ultrabooks. Heck, I even streamed Deus Ex Mankind Divided while in a hotel room on a dual-core Intel i5 with integrated graphics, and the experience was amazing. GeForce Now left beta earlier this year, but they have a free plan that might be useful for some. My personal experience this week has been very lengthy wait times to the point where I had to order the paid plan just so I could finish the tests needed for this video. In terms of the actual hands-on gameplay, both Google Stadia and GeForce Now are equal in my opinion, and I'd be happy to use either if the other didn't exist and the quality was consistent for both. In terms of costs, Google Stadia is $5 more per month, but it comes with free games, and if you purchase the games in the Stadia store, you can even play them if you cancel your subscription, so both services technically have a free plan. Google Stadia has a lot of neat features like clips, screenshots, and a pretty nice controller, but, and I hate to keep saying it, the lack of games is the biggest issue with Stadia. If they just let us link our Steam, Battle.net, or other game libraries to Google Stadia, I would uninstall GeForce Now literally right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and got something useful out of it. This is just a quick review based on my own personal experience, so yours might be completely different. If you'd like to see all three of these recordings with network and FPS stats where applicable, check out the description for a link to a Google Drive folder with all three uploaded. Thanks for watching, peace out.